are listening to the Balancing Act podcast. Here's your hosts, Jamie Wonko and Joe Vitale.
Just because it's out of habit. We are
recording.
There we go. Well, hello,
Welcome
friend.
Back.
How are you?
Hello. Welcome back to the Balancing Act podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jamie Wonko, here with Mr. Joseph Vitale.
Yes.
Welcome.
I really, if you're watching on the YouTubes, that I like to say, I really need Jamie's lighting because I get this lighting on my forehead that's like, we could literally sell advertising space on this. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
You know what this shine is from?
Is there a tint in your makeup? Because you pointed that out to me.
I've transitioned to fall makeup. Thank you very much. But it is
gotcha.
just teaching. This is my day. Teaching. Then that was followed by run to the store, order dinner, come back, feed one child, go out, pick up two more, come back, feed those children, come back, feed the dog. And then all of a sudden I'm like, let's just take it.
Okay, there's something that you and I need to do. I watched a video real quick of a teacher. It was an elementary school teacher, I think.
Yes.
And she teaches third grade. I can't remember her handle. If I remember it, I'll bring it up later. And she had like one of those little like counter things that like you click with your finger.
Oh,
yeah.
It did it.
Yeah, it did. You do thumbs up, and then if you do the double thumbs up, we get fireworks again. Oh, there it is. I'm not surprised. This is the last time.
Baby, you're a firework.
Oh yeah.
But I saw them. I know just who you're talking about. Yes. How many times have I gone in, out, in, out?
And how many times have I been like interrupted? Like just keep clicking the button, and I think my finger would set on fire. I think that's what happened.
I have one of those.
I need one of those. Can you bring it in for me? I need.
Do you know where I got it from?
Where did
the Vitale family?
We got it for you. When did we get it for you?
You sent it with the bellhopping. The bell. It came in the set.
Okay, so Jamie's son took one of those.
We'll do it. And now he won't want that story repeated.
Oh, he won't want that story. So
Probably
I will not. So we will cut that out. Okay. I'm gonna actually. So
we don't
I know,
have to cut that out. Which just how teenagers are. It's like don't repeat something, but that was part of the story, not the whole story. Maybe one day we'll tell the whole story.
Got it.
But maybe we already did tell it. I don't know. But either way, I can bring the counter clicker for you.
I need that. And shout out to the Rizzler. He's got it all. Okay. So speaking of the running and the leaving and the going in and out and everything else, we have a special guest who is living the brand, as we just talked about in our little meeting beforehand. We're going to bring in our special guest. Well, hello, Dawn Wiseman. How are you?
I am great. How are you guys?
We are wonderful. And this is amazing because there's been a lot of firsts in season 2, and you are our first guests from another country. So now we are we are the international house of podcasts.
Yes.
That could be my network.
It's the IHOP.
It's the IHOP House of Podcasts.
Yes. John, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on to talk to us.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Thanks for having me.
Dawn is on Instagram. Handle is @teacher.life.simplified. And I kind of saw some of your posts over the summer of different AI tools and how you can use it to simplify your life and, differentiate, because I think that's something that you're definitely passionate about. And I don't want to like steal your thunder, but, that's how we kind of got the conversation rolling here, because I think AI is it's a hot topic in education. It's definitely something we're going to talk about on today's episode. So we're going to be looking for your advice and expertise.
Awesome.
We very much hope. So Dawn, we'd love for you to tell us about yourself and, where you're from in Canada and how long you've been teaching and all those fun things.
Awesome. Well, I live in Fredericton, New Brunswick, which is on the east coast of Canada. And I've been teaching. This is my 17th year. And I have taught French immersion basically my entire career. And this year I've transitioned into a different role. So I'm actually in the gym this year teaching phys ed.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
I know.
Say that again. You went from French immersion.
Right. Yeah, so I taught French immersion for 16 years.
Okay.
And I did my Kines degree way back when. I won't say when, that'll age me.
Okay.
But yeah, I did it a long time ago. And this year there was an opportunity for me to actually go into the gym. So that's what I've been doing since September. And I am loving life.
I was just going
Is
to
it
say
as
that.
great as it sounds? Like, take the balls out, put the
1000%.
balls back, sit at your squad spot.
I think I appreciate it more because I was in a class for so
Okay.
long.
Yeah, of course.
And I
Yeah,
know how hard we
yeah,
work in a classroom. Not that I don't work hard
yeah,
in the gym. It's just
of
a
course.
different,
Yeah.
different
How,
vibe.
can you explain what French immersion is?
So in Canada and in New Brunswick, the province that I live in, basically the kids who go to an English school, they can either do straight English and then in grade 5, they do kind of like a 5-month intensive French program.
Mhm.
Or they can, starting in grade 1, decide to do French immersion. So their entire day is in French, essentially, besides
Really?
sometimes phys ed and music. But now that I'm in the gym, I'm doing French with them. So yeah, it's either that or they go to a French school. So it's
What
Wow.
did
totally
you
different.
do? What did you do growing up?
I went to a French school until grade 5, and then I switched and went to an English school. So
Wow.
I did both.
And what grades do you currently teach, or what grades have you taught, and what do you currently teach now?
I have taught everything from K to 8, and I've taught grade 3 for probably about 10 years. That was kind of my jam. That's where I was for a long time. And the school right now that I'm at is a K to 5 school, so I teach phys ed K to 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's really awesome. And
it
what
is.
when you said like, oh, I went from French immersion to phys ed, I was like,
Wait, what? That's
wait,
a
what happened?
total.
I was like, what kind of certifications do they have in Canada? There's a lot going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm sure there's a lot more similarities than differences between our two countries from in regards
Oh, for
to
sure.
education. I'm sure you deal with some of the same behaviors that we do.
I would say
Uh,
1,000%. Yeah.
yes, and you also have children at home, correct? Are they also they're elementary school age?
They are. I have both my kids go to the French school, and one of them is in grade 2, and the other one just started kindergarten this year.
Oh wow.
And I
Aw.
actually don't hear them right now, so I'm hoping that they're fingers crossed.
Oh, so that's like
They fell
so
asleep.
I always say like that's the adorable end, but like the like kindergarten, first, second, third. That's like the cutest age to me. That's like the one
It
that I love the
is.
most.
I mean, they have their moments as they do it with all ages, but
Yeah.
Yes.
they're pretty sweet kids, and yeah,
Yes, then they get
love
to be,
seeing.
and then as Jamie and I like to say, they get to be teenagers, and then you don't know anything anymore. Um,
Oh, I'm already there. Wait, that
whoa,
continues.
okay, no, it gets worse.
It gets worse.
No, it does. I mean, if you want
Um,
us to sugarcoat it, we will, but it's
No, please don't.
no bueno. It's no bueno.
Oh, bueno.
So yeah, it's about the extent of my language. So on social media, I know you talk a lot about differentiation. I assume that that's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about um, your travels with, especially it's got to be challenging with what you did in the classroom, meaning the French immersion school. Like it really has to be, an interesting dynamic, especially if you have kids that are on all different levels. Like, how do you meet those kids where they are in the classroom?
Right.
So,
Exactly. And that's how I kind of got into learning about AI. One day I got home from work and I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram, and I happened to come on this reel from this girl who was talking about this AI tool for teachers. And she was basically showing Magic School and how to create a lesson plan. And my mind was blown. I was like, what is this? And how did I not know about this? So I kind of went and checked out the website, and then just went down a deep dive of like, okay, what else is there out there that can help me? And as I started learning about all these tools, I was, telling some of my coworkers, like, oh my God, I just did this for my report card comments and it saved me so much time. And I was sharing kind of tips that I was learning about. And then I thought, like, well, why don't I just start making reels for other teachers on Instagram? And then that kind of led me to obviously finding differentiation, where I was like, this is one of the biggest and hardest things for teachers, especially when you have, 26, 28 kids in a classroom. How do you differentiate for all of them at the same time? And how do you lesson plan for that? Because it takes so much time to do it if you're going to do it properly, right?
Well, especially if you're
Um,
in an elementary classroom. Like
right.
I mean, the elementary school teacher that has to be a master of all subjects and be able to do. And I mean, Jamie, you're the only person that I know that I speak with in regards to the education field of like who's worked in that space and what that looks like. It's got to be a very
It's wild.
challenging thing to be able to prep for all those subjects.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, right? Not only are you differentiating for just the one subject, in elementary, we're planning for 5 or 6 subjects, sometimes
Yes.
7, depending if you're also teaching phys ed, amongst all the other things, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I guess I just started looking around. Okay, is there any differentiation AI tools out there that can help me? And there's quite a few of them that I came upon, and that kind of led me into creating my own guides where I was teaching other teachers, because the reels that I'm doing are great and they're super helpful for teachers. But sometimes you see something on Instagram and you watch it, and then if you don't save it, you're never seeing it again type thing, right? If you're not following that person. So I thought, well, I'm going to create a guide that will teach someone, that will walk them through step by step how to use these AI tools.
So what are some of the guides that because I know we also have your Stan.store, which is something new that I hadn't heard about. And we'll make
So,
sure that
Joe,
that's
I sent you the Stan.store, right? I found you. I looked it up. I sent it to you. And on there, it also does have a link to like your teachers pay teachers as well,
Mhm.
which is something that I would be like that I use all the time. So
Right.
I'm wondering, is Stan.store just something Joe and I have never heard of? Is it more of a Canadian
No,
site?
no, there's
No.
lots of America. I actually discovered it from a girl in the States that I
Oh,
follow on
okay.
Instagram.
Cool.
It's basically a place to house your resources. You can
Mm.
create courses, you can set up meetings with people, you can sell your digital resources. Like, it's kind of a one size fits all, which is pretty amazing that way.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you have some recommendations for differentiation using AI, or so you have some specifics?
I do. I mean, my all-time favorite for differentiation is Diffit. It's called Diffit for Teachers. Um, and it literally walks you through step by step. Okay, you have different options of, if you want to, let's say you had a video on YouTube that you wanted to show your students, but then after that, well, once you show them a video, chances are you want to ask them questions about that video, or you want to give them a worksheet to answer questions or to create something. And Diffit does all that for you. So it saves you so much time, right, of planning to do this. And you can adjust like text level difficulties, that kind of thing, where you could give the same document, like the same written document, to your entire class, but knowing that, okay, well, these kids are really actually only reading at a grade 1 level, these kids are reading at a grade 5 level, and you could differentiate the whole document within seconds. So it's
wow.
definitely it's one of my faves for sure.
Yeah, no, my eyes were like, because Jamie
I
had
know,
sent.
it's like
Yeah,
pause for an ooh.
I
Yeah, like
know, right?
so
Same thing.
yeah, so
I was so excited when I found it.
Jamie sent us your Stan.store. We're gonna link this in the episode, on all the streaming platforms, as well as if you're watching on YouTube, to check this out. But like, I want to push everybody to one of the resources that she has, which I don't want to assume that it's free, but it looks like it says top AI tools and websites for teachers.
30,
But
yeah, my 30 free website and
yeah,
AI tools that
yeah,
I
so that, I mean, if you're looking to dip your toe in the water of, how to get started with AI tools, and there is stuff here that like I'm looking at. We just had a conversation with our boss today about like looking for looking for something to like teach us about prompt engineering specifically for teachers. Like, how can we use these tools in a more efficient way for ourselves in the
right.
classroom? Like, it's one of those things that I feel like you have to learn how to use it before we can really teach somebody else how to use it.
And
Um,
that's what oh, sorry, go
no,
ahead.
no, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's kind of where I think a lot of teachers have, there's a ton of teachers that have dove in and they are using AI every day. Um, But I think that a lot of teachers are kind of like, because it feels like, oh, well, it's another thing that we have to learn how to use. When really, there's a few of them out there that are so easy and so simple to use. And it's like, once you use it, you will never look back. Like you
I
will.
I think one of the biggest problems that we're having in our district specifically is that everything is blocked. Everything.
Oh, you can't use it.
Even on a teacher laptop.
Mhm.
Like when I
Oh,
log in with
wow.
my account, like I decide, oh, I'm gonna go on ChatGPT because I want to do something. Blocked.
That's blocked?
Yes. It's
Wow.
and I'm not trying to, start a revolution here, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we can't really teach the students how to I don't know why it's blocked for us. I don't understand why. I've used it
Mhm.
before. I mean, it's not going to stop me from using it on a personal device, to be able to write an email or, create a rubric. Like it has so
Right.
many powerful things that
Yes.
I'm able to do. And I'm just barely, testing the waters with how this is all going to work. I encourage you guys to, push you towards Dawn.store because there's some great stuff in there.
Yeah.
Especially I looked at like time saving techniques. If like you're looking for a place to get started, I think that's a great place to go. Because we're all looking, listen to Jamie and I talking about this one and run into that one. And we actually started this recording 15 minutes later because whoops, somebody had to go pick up his son from work. And that was me. So, I think it's definitely a good jumping off point, for anybody to go check out, Dawn's space and see what's there that might help you with your own planning and in your own classroom.
Yeah. And Dawn,
So
what do you pay for?
You know
So
what?
what do you pay for?
I have never paid for, and there's lots of AI tools out there
Yeah.
that have a free option, and then they have kind of like a pro or a premium option
Yeah.
that then you have to pay for.
Yeah.
I have never paid for any AI tool.
Wow.
I've
Okay.
always used the free account, like this Diffit one that I was telling you.
Yeah.
Teachers get 60 days free of their premium account. And then, I mean, the idea is that hopefully they would want teachers to
Sure.
kind of their school to sign on stuff. But I mean, just use a different email and get yourself another 60
Right.
days.
I know. I was just scrolling through. Scrolling. Sorry, I was just scrolling through Diffit, and I see like it had asked. So we had interviewed a man named Jonathan Mast, who sort of calls himself like an AI guru or someone who's really enthusiastic about it, but from a marketing standpoint. And so he had kind of gone through a list of some of them that he pays for himself. So I was just curious because when you come from like the business world, you
Right.
have funds, and as teachers we don't. So we always like free, or is it $1.99? I kind of feel like there's
Literally.
certain you know
yeah,
how it
because
goes.
one of the teachers that he decided to create this whole lesson using Magic School, doing something with AI. He was going to have his
Magic
kids log
School.
into it. And Jamie, I know you know who I'm
Yeah,
talking
of
about.
course. Yeah.
And he like told our boss, who was like, "Hey, come in, you can observe, blah blah blah." And he goes like, "Okay, we're all going to do this." And like, I don't know exactly how it happened, but like, I don't like, maybe he should have tested it out or whatever else. But he went to go do it, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's all blocked on the students' side of things. Even when he added those students to like his account, which I think he did on a personal device.
Mm.
So he tried to find a workaround, and of course, my boss was, it's like, okay, so it fell a little flat, but we know why. It's not anything that you did. It's like,
Right.
something that's blocked by the district. But we constantly talk about like, up, are we going to reach the paywall? When we get to
Dude.
30 users, but we have 90 kids, are we then going to be stuck in a point where like, well, we either pay for it or we're not able to use it because
Yeah,
we
but
can't use it for every kid? So
it's too bad you can't use it for free because, I mean, Magic School, that's one of my favorite ones because there are so many tools on it and I
Yeah.
use them for free, right?
So
Like,
what are some of the tools that you use in Magic School, and how do you use them to like either lesson plan or instruct a class or what?
well, I use the lesson planning one for sure,
Okay.
which
Hmm.
you essentially put in the grade level that you're teaching, you put in your outcome that you're working on, and it will create an entire lesson for you. I've used the Coach's Corner, I think it's called Coach's Sports Corner, something like that, because now that I'm in the gym, just to get some new ideas. I can't open this up. I was going to say, let me open. if I open this on my laptop, is this gonna?
No, you're good.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, won't do anything. You're fine.
Okay. Let me just go to Magic School, and I can tell you exactly which ones are my favorites that I use. If this opens here, there we go.
One thing we've actually never
The
tried
choice.
here. One thing we've actually never tried here, we could do this on the fly, is I
Okay.
think there's a way in
Screen share.
StreamYard for you to share your screen and give it a shot. I mean, I know we're kind of, just trying it and flying by the seat of our pants here for you listeners at home. But you should see
A present.
a present button down at the bottom there.
So I should, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So, I
Okay.
mean, let's try it. If you don't mind sharing your screen with
No,
us.
sure. Let's see what happens here.
We're getting a live demo, people.
Share screen. Share screen. Magic School. Share. All right. Is that working?
No.
I don't see anything yet.
It
Trying
says
to think.
share.
Let me see. Let me try my screen layout here. Let me see what happens.
It says sharing this tab to StreamYard.
Oh, wait, I got it. Hold on. I have to add you to the stage.
Ooh.
Oh, now we're fancy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay,
Got it?
sorry about. Look at that. So we can. I don't know if you can see that there, everybody. But so this is, I guess, Dawn's Magic School account. Okay.
Yes, my free
right.
account.
All right. So.
Okay. So choice board UDL. Love this one. Do you want me to kind of give you a demo?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
you
I know we didn't exactly plan to do this, but if you don't mind, going through and giving us a little demo.
Yeah, one of my favorite terms, and you used it earlier, and it was the name of a class that I had created years ago for professional development for other teachers in our district, and it was called
Best Name Ever.
How Did I Not Know That? And you said, and you said that earlier, and it's so true. There's just so many things. So yes, show us.
Right.
Because we're going to all end up saying, like, how did I not know that?
Yeah.
Okay. So because it is, 'tis the season where everyone's getting sick. At least it is around where I live.
Well, it was here too, because I was out sick last week. So
choice board UDL is one of my favorites. Let's say you wake up in the morning and obviously you couldn't just do this. Most teachers would have an emergency lesson plan with them that they could give to a supply teacher. However, let's say you get a phone call, you have to leave school because one of your kids are sick. So this isn't easy. So let's just choose, let's say 3rd grade, learning objectives. Let's say I want to talk about ancient Greece. I mean, if I had my actual, standards, my outcomes, I would actually put them in here, but just to kind of give you an idea. And then in the choice board, please include as many different modalities as possible. So let's say we want a song, visuals, etc., just to kind of give it some idea. And then once you click generate, it's going to give you an entire choice board based on ancient Greece, which is amazing, right? To leave with your kids, like write a short story about a Greek god or goddess, draw or paint a famous. It gives them all sorts of different options. So everyone in the class would hopefully be able to find at least one thing that they could work on. And then if you don't like it, you could just edit the prompt up here. I can copy, because I'm not paying for the pro version. If I was, I could click export, and then you could export it to like a PDF, etc. But here's another really, really cool option that I love about Magic School. And this is for all of their tools that this does it. The read aloud option. If you had students who had their own tablets, let's say, or their own laptops, you could actually click on this and Magic School will read the entire choice board out loud to them, which is great for differentiation for your kids who also, maybe aren't reading.
I'm also thinking about what you just created, and Jamie, I'm thinking about, the creations projects that your your students work on. This could be a perfect, like, quick brainstorming activity. Kids are stuck, like, I did this, I did that, I don't know what I want to do. They could put a prompt in and be able to get all these different choices and then get some ideas as to what they
Right.
can create for that
Yeah.
specific part of that unit. I think that's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you're a language teacher, whoops, and you click on actions down here, you can translate, which is also
Oh,
amazing.
This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
oh my gosh.
This would also
Yay.
make, we have a high population of ELL, English language
Oh,
so
learner
do we.
students. And it is, I mean, we were the ELL, the school that Jamie and I were, we were the ELL magnet school, and they've since sent those students back to home schools
hmm.
and, kind of changed how they've organized the program. But there's a lot of these kids that are embedded in sheltered instruction, and they could definitely use something like this
Right.
to read
Yeah.
directly to them or to translate it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. Here, do you want me to stop sharing here? Or do you have to do that on your end?
Show us one more thing.
Show
One
one more thing. One more thing. So,
all right, let me go back. What's another one that I use often here? Do you want me to show you a lesson plan just to kind of see how?
yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do it.
I was done. Lesson plan. So let's go.
All right. So one of our goals this year is to have stations. So we have something called like a PDP, Professional Development Plan, and
Okay.
our principal picks for the school, and then we all are working towards one goal. So one item that everybody is supposed to be working on this year is AI. Another thing is using stations or centers.
Yep.
So maybe something like that.
Okay, let's see what it will give us. So let's say 4th grade. Let's say
American Revolution. I mean, I know I
Yeah.
know you're in Canada,
Okay.
but don't hold it against us. But we teach that stuff. Okay.
American Revolution, and let's say please create 4 different centers / stations that will allow students to show their knowledge on this topic. And we're not going to set our standards to New Brunswick, Canada.
Oh, you can. I mean, or
Yeah,
not.
it's okay.
You can just leave them blank if you need to, right? Unless you need to put something in.
Where are you guys again? I forgot.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Sorry.
All right, let's see. New Jersey. Okay, let's see what
USA.
happens here.
I wish you guys. I hope you go to YouTube and watch
And
this
watch
because
this.
it's literally like
It's
at
amazing.
the drop of a hat, it just throws all different assessments.
It's just like brrr, pop,
Yeah.
and
So
it's
key
done.
points. There's an opening which it gives you,
Yep.
which is really good. Okay.
Opening, introduction to new material, guided practice, independent practice, closing, and extension activity. And here's the thing. So Magic School will give you this whole lesson plan, right? And obviously there's things that you're going to have to create
Sure.
Mhm.
to use this lesson plan. But again, you can use AI to create it, right? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's
Like again, myself, we just did a centers activity where myself and my co-teacher, actually my co-teacher, came up with the stations, and he did like part of the chapter that we were doing. Great activity, but it took some time to like pull things out. And yeah, we were pulling things specific from the textbook of the topic section that we were looking at. But like this would be very effective if you needed to create something quickly.
yeah,
And not
100%.
only that, like even looking at this, like some of this is like the stations are timeline of key events, Declaration of Independence and the causes of war, Revolutionary War battles and strategies, and the life of a Revolutionary War soldier. Those are all things that would be relevant to teach in an American history classroom on a unit on the American Revolution.
Right.
Okay.
And I mean, also, the other thing is if you've been teaching the same grade for years and years and years, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, I need something different. I need to
Yeah.
change this specific activity up. I need to do,
I don't do
something
much of the same activities for that reason, because it
Right.
gets like there's some activities that I repeat, but there are also times I'm like, I kind of didn't like that last year. And it felt a little
Well,
flat,
yeah,
or
exactly.
But sometimes you just get into a situation where you're not able to create something new on your own. And the idea of being able to have this tool, these types of tools to pull from, just takes away so much of the mental load of being
Right.
a teacher.
The
And
overwhelm if you're new,
I
a new
Oh
mean,
my
teacher.
God. Like I think about that and I'm just like,
and
I
I'm
don't even know.
old new, right? So, I mean, like 2 years ago, I had to teach 2 new subjects, 2 new grade levels in a brand new school, and 2 new curriculums. And I had been teaching already for 22 years.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was really a lot. It was a lot. And so the idea of having these two, and even, there's sometimes it's like, okay, I came up with 3 ideas, but I need 3 more. And you just get stuck with that.
Yeah.
So to kind of
Right.
have like the halfsies, holesies sort of approach to things, or just kind of like you get to a point and this takes you across the finish line, which I think is just so fantastic.
Absolutely. I think of like when I first started teaching, um, there wasn't, I mean, I don't even know if PT existed back then, but there definitely wasn't French resources to go on and get, right? Like I
Yeah.
created everything from
You
scratch.
used an abbreviation. You said PT, planning time.
Oh
No,
no,
she
sorry,
said
TPT.
TPT.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said PT.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
mistake.
So,
I don't even think we had the internet when I started teaching.
right.
In the classroom? No.
I mean, we did.
No, we
it's
did not.
funny, but we didn't. I tell the students that like we didn't have computers in the classroom, and now I followed it up with like, anytime I tell them a story about we didn't have this or we didn't have that, I have to say like, and it wasn't because we were, suffering from, low income. It wasn't because
Yeah.
we were all so poor. It wasn't because we were being punished. It was because it wasn't something that anyone had.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
it's really
even when we
hard for
talk
them to
about
understand.
9/11,
Yeah.
which we do, and we
Yes.
discuss it in this area, and we spend some time at length just to discuss with them, like, okay, well, you hear about this, and then what did you do? Well, we didn't have computers to go on the internet, so we went to a faculty room and we wheeled in a television, and there was a
We watched it.
cable for cable TV, and you plugged it into the back of the TV, and that's what
Right.
you did because nobody was streaming anything. There was no YouTube. Like you didn't have
Yeah.
a camera on your phone, and most
Right.
people didn't even carry phones to begin with. Like
Right.
a lot of people did, but not all of them.
Oh, the amount of
So
times I hear, Madame, can you like just look it up on Google or look it up on YouTube? I'm like, you have no idea how lucky you are right
well,
now.
there's also this idea, and I think this is a topic that Jamie and I are going to talk about eventually, is like learned helplessness, right? Like I don't get it, and then we just give up immediately and throw our hands up in the air, which is very challenging. If you can go back on Magic School, go back to like that main menu, and I know those of you that are
Sure.
just listening are maybe aren't seeing this, but there was one if you scroll down, that said text translator. Okay.
Oh,
It
yeah.
says take any
Yeah.
text and translate it into any language instantly. Like I'm thinking about this, like there's so many things that are already here and we don't have to worry about like additional extensions and,
Yeah.
you know, hey,
Yeah.
Magic School, sponsor us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you can, I guess this is like its own version of Google Translate, but you could take the original text, copy paste, put it right in the box
Right.
and
Oh,
get some kind of translation. Yeah.
there's one I have to show you because it's
Yes.
on this topic.
One more tool.
If you-
One.
I
Yeah.
know.
I
One
don't know
more
what
This
we're
is it.
supposed
I
to be.
promise
To
this is the
this,
last one.
I don't know what we're.
so
No,
on to this.
this is
Do the
fine.
students? I know. Do the students call you Madame Wiseman?
No, they call me Madame Dawn.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
so
a lot of
is that standard there? Like for the kids to call you?
it really depends on the school.
Okay.
When I first started teaching, it was Madame Wiseman.
Mhm.
But as kind of the years went on, in a French school, a lot of the teachers go like my daughter's teachers are Madame Natasha and Monsieur Thomas. Like a lot of the French schools, they go by their first name.
Got
So that kind of ended up transitioning over to our school at some point, and everyone wanted to go by their first name. So,
it. Okay.
but the English teachers go by their last name.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Jamie, I
sort
think
of.
you should start the trend to be Madame Jamie.
Well, because we have a lot of students from other countries and different cultures, and a lot of them have stopped. For a long time it was Mrs., Mr., Mrs., or Miss, right,
Right.
with the last name, and now it's sort of morphed just into Miss.
Right.
So when you said Madame, I was curious if the kids like what the formality is or
Yeah.
not.
No,
And
they just
yeah,
call me Madame Dawn by my
okay,
first name.
okay,
Okay, I'll just show you this last one. That's just because
nice.
we were speaking about translation. I thought this was amazing. If you need to email, let's say you guys said that there was a lot of kids at your school that were second language learners. So we also have a lot of kids at our school that are EAL students, and some of their parents don't speak English. So whenever any sort of communique goes home, they probably don't understand what it says unless their kids can read it, which when they first arrive, most of them are not, able to read or speak in English. So I'm just going to kind of show you quickly here. I'm not going to write a big email, but I'll just say, just a note to parents that school pictures will be taken on Wednesday, October 9th. Okay, so just something quick and short. If I generate that, it's going to write an email to make it way prettier than what I just wrote. But then if I want to translate that, let's say to Arabic for my students, it will write that entire email in Arabic. And then I could essentially copy and paste it, print it on a piece of paper and send it home with my students that I know their parents don't speak English.
Yeah, I think for any educator that's
Wow.
listening, checking out Magic School like it, this is kind of
Yeah,
a
it's amazing.
one. I mean, there there are other tools that we've talked about with a previous guest with Jonathan when he was on about Perplexity AI and ChatGPT and
Right.
Claude, which is not CLAWD, right? AWED.
Claude, the Frenchman.
Claude, Frenchman with the hat. So there's a lot of great stuff here. I mean, we could definitely go down a rabbit hole and keep going tool after tool after tool after
Wow.
tool.
Right.
But we encourage anybody, I myself am like, okay, how am I going to use this?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So besides Magic School, and you talked about Diffit, would there be your top 3, your third tool, maybe not, a complete platform that you think might be useful for a teacher to kind of like, okay, let me kind of dip my toe in the water here and see
Yeah.
how this is going to help me.
I would say EduAid or CurryPod.
Okay.
But EduAid, I love it so much, but it only gives you 15 generations per month,
Okay.
which is awesome. You get to use them for free.
Do you want to pull up EduAid if you don't mind, since you're sharing your screen?
Sure.
I know we're
It's like Gatorade, but for education. It's a thirst quencher.
Exactly. Let me see.
Oh my God, it's another one of my favorite sayings. Teach smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder.
I think you just
time.
recently might have made a post on this.
Wow.
Dawn, I think you might have. It was something about a video with like ducks or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
Oh no, I think that was a different site.
Yeah, but either way. So this definitely looks like it has
it's got a ton of different options. So this is kind of their tabs across the top, give you kind of, these are all lesson planning options, information options.
Oh my goodness, there's more tabs. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a ton,
rubrics, lists.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, look there. Essay revision. Mistake-ridden essays written by AI with rubrics for students to engage in review, revision, and critique. Hello.
Yeah, there's so many cooperative learning activities.
Research project.
Gamification. I love the jigsaw activity. Gamification to turn things into game. Like there's just so many options. So basically you would select one of these and then your subject and then your grade over here. And then when you scroll down, you can enter in keywords. But I always say to enter in your actual outcome or your standard and then click add to workspace. And then it will all pop open over here. It's amazing.
Wow. What is the, just because I'm curious, what does the
Mhm.
paid plan actually look like? So you said it gives you 15 outputs per month.
15
like-
outputs per month.
I'm just curious, just because.
I don't remember. Last time I checked, I think it was like $12.99 a month, maybe.
Okay.
I wonder if I can see if I go to.
So this one is eduaide.ai. Oh,
So it's $50 for the
A
year.
year.
$50 a year, yeah. So it's not
Yeah.
bad, really.
Yeah, it also looks like there's for schools and districts. So if the district
Mhm.
wanted to purchase a platform,
Right. Yeah.
um,
They would have to get their own quote, apparently.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
But yeah, if you had your own kind of like, we have a teachers working condition funds where we can use money for certain things. You could use that to get another AI.
wow, Dawn. I mean,
tools.
I hope that if you've been interested in any of the tools that we've kind of looked at here, I definitely encourage you guys to go check out the episode on YouTube, because Dawn does walk through some of the things that are here. We'll try and list some additional resources for sure. And definitely, check out Dawn's Stan.store, which I'm just going to list it out: www.Stan.store/Dawn Wiseman, spelled exactly like Wiseman, Wiseman.
Wiseman.
Yes.
Dawn, I just have a couple of questions for you. Number one, is Tim Hortons everything we think it's going to be?
Timmy Hose. Yes, of course it is.
We're getting one soon in our town.
You are?
We are.
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
getting a Timmy Hortons.
Yes.
No way.
Number two, is Robin Scherbatsky your favorite TV Canadian? Do you know her?
No, but I did love that show.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's all go to the mall.
Let's you to the mall today. And also,
We know we have I think an unhealthy
lot about
amount
nothing.
of pop culture references.
And my
How about your
third
mother?
thing
That was
is,
amazing.
do you think we sound like strikingly different than what you're used to?
No, I don't think you guys do.
Oh,
But
okay.
I've met like other Americans in my travels over the years that our accent is totally different. And anytime I say about, they're like, "Oh, you said about."
I did hear it a couple
No, I
times.
And also, you said it 9 times. I counted.
No, you did not. Did you actually count?
I click. I
You
did.
click a little clicker. You're bringing the clicker back. Nice, Dawn. I can't thank you enough for being kind enough to join us on a. You're in a different time zone. You're actually an hour ahead of us. On a later evening for us to be able to record with you. So thank you very much for coming, Dawn. We appreciate you. We appreciate you and your knowledge that you left for us today.
And we're going to be appreciating this for months with all the time that we're saving from all the tips that you gave us. So
I appreciate
so
you,
much.
Jamie.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Okay, we'll talk to everybody soon. See you next week on the Balancing Act podcast.
Bye.
The Balancing Act podcast will now be available weekly. Check out Apple Podcasts or Spotify and give us a follow. We appreciate you.